What is the absolute number one question you have to be able to answer for an investment banking interview? It is, what is the DCF? Now, this is actually part of the broader question, which is how can you value a company, which, as a reminder, is public comparables analysis, precedent transaction analysis, and then this is the discounted cash flow analysis, or the DCF. Now, caveat, you could spend entire semesters, years, studying the DCF, but you have to have a concise and clear answer in layman's terms for an interview explaining what the discounted cash flow analysis is. And so if you're asked this question, you have to be ready to say that it is an intrinsic valuation. In other words, the valuation is not based on where other companies that are similar to the company are bought and sold. It is really based on the cash flows that this company is going to spit out into the future. And so to do your DCF, you would need to come up with, number one, what are the cash flows that it's going to generate into the future? And so you need to then get out your Excel, build a model, and project what are it's called the unlevered free cash flows, more on that later, but what are the unlevered free cash flows that the company is going to generate for, say, 5, 10, 15 years? Academically speaking, you really should be projecting this company's cash flows out until it achieves steady state, but the practical reality is you're usually going to only go out, say, 5, 10, 15 years. The second thing you have to do is you need to come up with what is called the terminal value. So the terminal value is the value of the business beyond the projection period. Because just because you didn't project those cash flows out further doesn't mean that the company isn't generating cash flows. So there's two ways you can come up with that. Number one, you can use what's called the perpetuity growth method, which means you take your cash flow in that last year and you grow it into infinity at some growth rate. Number two, you could assume the company is essentially sold. So you calculate the value of the business as some multiple of earnings, usually it's your EBITDA, and then you say that is the value of the business beyond the forecast period. Now, academics don't exactly love that method, but it's usually used in the banking world. Now, the final thing we need to do is take all of those projected cash flows and discount them back to today. And the reason we do this is that there is this concept called time value of money, which means the money that you have today is worth more than the money in the future. Or said differently, the money in the future is worth less than the money today. Why is that? Well, you could take the money you have today and invest it and get a return, right? The value of the money today would grow for you over time. So the value that you're going to get in the future is worth less because you can't invest it today. So we need to discount those cash flows back. You would discount it at something called the WACC. Again, that is a whole other conversation for another day, but you discount those cash flows back to today, you add up those discounted cash flows, and what you basically have are what the cash flows are from now until infinity, all put in today's money. That gets you to what is the value of the entire firm, and that is your discounted cash flow analysis.